Hey sis, welcome back to Salam by Mary Tanahun. I am just so glad that you are here today. I hope that your spirit is grounded, your mind is open, and your heart is just ready to receive. So if this is your first time, welcome to this space, girl. This is a space of love, faith, and just honest conversation. And if you've been with me for a while, you already know this is a space where we just keep it real and we do it with love, always, period. So let's just dive right in. Quick disclaimer, I do apologize if there is a little background noise. It is very windy where I am today, and you can just hear it from a mile away. But that's besides the point. Today's episode is actually one that's been sitting in my spirit for a minute now, just kind of like simmering. It's one of those heart whispers, I believe, that God just kept nudging me to speak on. And I think it's going to resonate with some of you, if not many of you. And I'm talking not just to the mamas out there, but to my girlies. So we're going to be talking about social media and spirituality. How do we stay grounded in a world that is constantly pulling us away from ourselves, right? From our peace and from God. Because let's be honest, our phones have become the first thing we touch in the morning and the last thing we see before bed. And somewhere along the way, our sacred stillness got replaced by endless scrolls. And I'm talking about myself as well. I am quite guilty of this. But I want to tell you something. I took a break, obviously, but this one was a real one. Not the I'll be off for a couple of days type of thing, but I was actually off of social media for 4 months. And this was just on all platforms. I actually remember the day. Initially, I told my husband, I was like, babe, I'm going to be, just stepping away offline for like 30 days, no more than that. But yeah, just a little reset, just some space to clear my head. And what started as 30 turned into 60, which then turned into 90. And before I knew it, it had already been 4 months, 4 whole months. And the craziest part, I didn't even miss it the way I thought I would. Because what I did find was peace. A level of peace that I didn't even realize I was missing, Peace that wasn't performative. Peace that wasn't tied to a feed, or just peace that invited me to come back to myself. And during those 4 months, I prayed deeper. I held my son closer. I looked at my husband and just read him. I started paying attention to the moments that just would have gotten lost in content, really. And the stillness, girl, the stillness spoke volumes. It was the loudest stillness I had ever experienced. But God got me there in the quiet, just no distractions, no validations from likes, no algorithm dictating my worth, none of that, just silence. So let's talk about overconsumption, because we're doing the most, like all the time. We are over-consuming in so many different ways, not just social media, but I want to really stick to social media this episode. And I realized, hold on, especially as new moms, oh my God, let's stay right there real quick. The moment I opened Instagram, it felt like I was being bombarded, like actually bombarded. every scroll was just another mom doing something better, right? A better bedtime routine, a better postpartum outfit, a better baby schedule, better food, milk to feed your baby, or even a better body. Can we talk about that? And it wasn't just comparison, honestly. I think when I really give it more thought, it wasn't just comparison, but it was pressure. It was the silent expectation to perform, to perfect, to produce content when I was still just trying to produce milk, to be completely honest with y'all. I'm just trying to produce milk. But there's all this pressure of the world. And while social media can be a tool for community and education, sometimes it becomes a mirror reflecting our insecurities right back to us. So I had to face that for a minute and just be honest with myself and work on that. That being said, I do think something that you should consider thinking about is if you've ever caught yourself feeling like a failure or just minimizing who you were because of something you saw online. Pause, breathe, right there, sis. Let that question sit. Journal about it later if you need to, okay? But think about it. Just ask yourself that question. So let's talk about the snapback. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. You give birth, and before your stitches are healed, the world is already asking, right? And y'all know exactly what questions I'm talking about. Have you lost the baby weight? Are you working out again? Girl, you should try this detox tea. Or make sure you put on a waist trainer and try hydroxycut, or see if your doctor will give you Ozempic or whatever it was. Sis, no. Frankly, I had a C-section, so I'm not doing anything until I'm fully healed. So don't ask me how long that's going to be either, because it's just going to be what it is. But in all seriousness, though, our bodies, women who just gave birth, our bodies did something so holy, something life-giving, right? And we're being told to hide the evidence, basically. And that's weird. And it's happening online. What? It feels like every other mom influencer, momfluencer, whatever, has the flat stomach, right? The high-waisted jeans, the perfect lighting. But sis, what they don't always say is that they had surgery. A mommy makeover, a tummy tuck, a BBL, which is not a bad thing by any means. Am I saying that that is wrong? Do you, do what makes you happy. But it is a completely different thing to go online and, for one, normalize it, right? And set it as if it was the expectation for all women, because that's not the case, right? But yeah, I'm seeing women who straight up had surgery, or they have professional help, whatever that looks like, a team, or let's face it, they're struggling behind the scenes too. They just are not showing that part of their life. And I think what gets lost in the scroll is the truth. Healing is messy. Bodies change. Stretch marks are stories. And you do not have to snap back immediately to be worthy. You don't let social media get all up in your head and make you believe something that just isn't normal, period. And another thing that shifted for me during my break, I realized how much I was willing to keep sacred, especially when it came to my son. See, there's a difference between sharing your life and turning your life into content, okay? And for me, I wanted to be present. not just for the camera, but for real in that moment. And I do think that some moments, a lot of moments, I'll even say, are not meant to be posted. Some memories just ain't for the internet. They're for your home, for your heart, for your children to remember you with them, not behind a screen. So, look, I don't know who this is for, but if you've been feeling uneasy about what you post, or better yet, if you've been feeling pulled to protect more than performing, I want to affirm that for you. I just want to affirm that. Girl, you do not owe the internet access to your joy. You don't have to document everything to prove that it happened. And your real life is allowed to be private. Just let it be. Let it be. Everything doesn't need to go online. The world doesn't need to see everything you're doing. You don't need to check in every place you're going. You just don't. I'm going to be honest. Another big reason I stepped back. The world was just heavy. It just felt so heavy. The political climate, honestly, was just too much to digest. Way too much. I mean, I had just given birth, and everywhere I looked, it felt like it was just pain. War. Division. Injustice. Violence. You name it. I mean, the list goes on and on. And while I do believe that, it's important to be informed, I also believe in guarding your spirit. And I don't think that we were made to carry everything all the time. And if you're a sensitive soul like me, you probably feel everything deeply. Like, I have no shame in saying that I'm sensitive. But it gets into your bones. Like, it penetrates deep. You feel it heavy. Every day becomes heavy and tiring. So that's why I had to protect my peace, because I couldn't show up for my family while being spiritually depleted. No, I just couldn't do that. I really couldn't. Now that being said, I want to invite you into stillness. Now, I'm not talking about 4 months or anything like I did, but maybe 10 days, maybe 15, maybe 30 days, or maybe just a weekend, like a whole weekend. Do what works for you. Don't be afraid to delete the apps, silence the notifications, and just let your soul exhale. Like, I sometimes don't think people realize or understand how badly the soul needs that until you get there. So I'm just encouraging you to please try and seek that, because sometimes I think to hear God clearly, you have to turn down the volume of the world. Social media can be a noisy machine, but girl, the voice of God, it's often quiet. It is gentle, and it is found in stillness. And when I think about when we're fasting, right? When we fast from distraction, we make room for direction. When we log off, we give God space to log in to our hearts. Wait a second, that was a bar. That was a bar. I need to write that one down. But I need to get an album together. Let me stop playing. Focus, Mary, focus. Where was I? I think I said everything that was on my heart. But sis, let this just be your gentle challenge to take a break, even just a small one, and don't do it for the aesthetics. Do it for your soul, girl. Do it for your soul. Your soul is hungry. Feed it. Feed it. Use that time to get back into your word, to journal, to cry, to sing, to scream, to walk outside without your phone, to feel the wind, to talk to God, talk with Him, and just to listen for the whispers again. And then when you come back online, come back with intention. You hear me? Follow peace, not trends. Protect your feed like you protect your home. Which means not everybody deserves access. Everybody does not deserve access. Period. That's that. Okay. Is that everything on my heart? I think that's good. I think we're good for now. I'm content with that. Sis, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening with your whole heart. I don't take your time for granted. And I pray that today's episode reminded you of the beauty of stillness, of sacred boundaries, and of choosing peace, girl. Choose your peace. So if this spoke to you in any way, shape, or form, please share it with a friend. Send it to a mama who needs it. Send it to your sister. And of course, connect with me, DM me, whatever, slide onto my YouTube, and just tell me how you're settling your boundaries with your feed. I want to know if you decided to take a social media break and what that journey is like for you. So, as always, you are loved, you are enough, and you are so much more than what you post online, girl. Until next time, stay rooted, stay present, stay blessed, and remember, there is power in your voice.